Yo, what is going on, you guys? Bashtianygo here, and today I'm coming at you with the updated Swordsoul deck profile post the April 2024 Banlist, guys. Banlist just dropped as of like yesterday, according to the time I'm recording this video. So I want to go ahead and get as many deck profiles for you guys as possible, show you guys what the updated goo should look like post Banlist. And we have the next deck on our list, guys. It's gonna be Swordsoul. Swordsoul is one of the best decks of a few years ago. It primarily in part of Arch Nemesis Protos being one of the craziest cards in this specific deck. Mainly why? Because all you need to do is summon is banish 3 monsters, different attributes. All of the Sword Souls are different attributes, as you can clearly see right here. So it's going to be extremely easy for you to go ahead and summon this guy out. Also, is extremely searchable in this deck. There's so many benefits of playing that card in this deck, in addition to being one of the craziest floodgates ever printed because it can be destroyed by card effects. So on top of all that time, let's go ahead and get right into it, guys. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe. If you guys want to see the rest of the deck profiles, we just updated the Sky Striker yesterday, so make sure you guys stay tuned for more. But let's go ahead and get into this. So Swordsoul is a deck that honestly I have a lot of fun playing. I didn't really have too much experience playing when it was top tier. I picked it up when it became more of a roguish deck. It's been a really fun deck ever since. But now that we got Arch Nemesis Protos, this deck is easily tier 1 once again. We got 3 copies of Moye, 3 copies of Long Yuan, 2 copies of Swordsoul Taya, and that's going to be it for the Swordsoul, guys. Pretty standard ratios, nothing too crazy. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, we're just trying to make sure that this deck is consistent. A clean 40 cards, if you will. So we have 3 copies of also the Incredible Ecclesia as well, again, for consistency. If you get ashed on this, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is from there. Overall, a great way to make sure that you're maximizing your best cards in your deck. Next, for the Tenyi package, of course, we do play 3 copies of Ashina, 3 copies of Vishuddha, 3 copies of Adhara. Some people play it at 2. I like to play this at 3 as well, just because seeing Adhara and what's this guy called again? Ashuna. Adhara and Ashuna is a full crazy combo. You end on Shisha plus Protos plus a Shaman as well. So overall, really good strategy right off the bat. And then 1 copy of the Shatana as well to wrap up our Tenyi package. Next, for the rest of the monsters, we would play 1 copy of Arch Nemesis Protos. I do not have this card just yet. The second the Banlist dropped, I did purchase it, but until it comes in, I do not have it. But 1 copy of Arch Nemesis Protos. The card is absolutely crazy. Just an overall beast of card. I believe it's 3,000 defense or something. You just summon that guy in defense, and you are chilling from there. Really good. For consistency, we do play 3 copies of Swordsoul Emergence and 2 copies of Circle. There is then argument to be made that with an Nemesis Protos now being off the list, at 1, I should say, then you can play 3 copies of Heavenly Dragon Circle. I'm going to go ahead and try it off at 2 to start things off. However, if you guys want to play a 41 card deck list with the 3rd copy of Circle, it's not something I'm going to go ahead and be against. So definitely you want that, maximize that consistency. Basically tribute a worm to search a worm. Really good, especially when dodging negations, effect negation, things like Ghost Mortar, Effect Veiler, Imperm. This helps you dodge it, so really good. And then, of course, the last card that we do play for the Sword Souls is the Swordsoul Blackout, which is standard, right? Serves 2 purposes, pops, and when it's banished, gives you a token. So for the non-engine, we do play 2 copies of Pot of Desires. 3 is a bit too cloggy, you don't really need it. 2 is just fine. If you happen to banish the second one off the first one, then you're chilling. And for the hand traps, we play 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Nib, 2 Veiler, and 2 Imperm, right? So the reason behind this is because essentially what I want to go ahead and do is, in the event I'm going burst, I want to go ahead and siding into games 2 and 3. I want to make sure I'm siding in Crossout Designator for Nibiru, just because, of course, without being able to make Bear on the floor now, it really hinders what your first turn play is going to be, because your deck now just becomes susceptible to Nibiru. So being able to sub in the Crossout Designator going first, take 2 Nibs out, put 3 Crossout Designators in, it's going to be really clutch for you guys, especially with the third, with the another copy of Call by the Grave, just to make sure your plays do go off. So in the end, we have that for the main deck. Like I said, a clean 40. For the extra deck, I play 3 copies of Monk of the Tenyi. Of course, really good card. Does nothing for you as far as the effect goes, but just gives you a normal monster on the field, so you can go ahead and do your Tenyi plays. 1 copy of Shaman. I know I have the card, I don't know where it is. I'm not going to spend half the day looking for it through all my bulk and such that I now have to go through because it's Banlist season. So Shaman, if you guys want to argue with me, That's Shaman, I swear. Because there's no other really link that we would play it. Unless you want to play SP Little Knight, go for it. But yeah, I would trade out a Shaman for an SP Little Knight. I would play it in addition to, because Shaman is just crazy good. Special summons back. What's crazy? One copy of the Shenshin, one copy of Dragite, one copy of Draco Berserker, one copy of Xiao Fang, Yazi, 2 Boxia as well for the non-Swordsoul synchros, and all these serve a specific purpose: floodgates, OTK, board breakers, negates, walking macrocosmos with the Shenshin. With Shenshin is something I don't really see in many people's lists, but realistically you can do some level modulation with Swordsoul Emergence. So honestly, I think it's just a crazy card to go into in the extra deck. I don't know why people are not playing it. And then of course for the Swordsoul stuff, we played 2 copies of Shishao, necessary, 1 Shenying, and 1 Long Yuan to round off the extra deck, guys. Honestly, I think this deck is extremely solid. The way I think that the deck may play a little bit more fair, which is why maybe some people don't tend to gravitate towards it, but those who have been playing Swordsoul since the beginning are pretty much what you would call a seasoned Swordsoul veteran, know all the lines, understand the combos, things like that, understand how to maximize the advantage, understand how to minimize the potential of getting imperm actions, stopping your entire plays. So honestly, I think that Swordsoul has an extremely high potential to become one of the best decks of this format, just strictly because it has Protos back, which is an extremely unfair card, right? So you put a very fair-ish deck like Swordsoul, and you slap in one of the most consistently searchable cards, specifically in this deck, that is just extremely toxic and just floodgates your opponent from summoning one type of attribute. Like, I mean, you're crazy, or you know, negating an attribute essentially. So you go up against Snake Eye, you call Fire, and you're chilling. You do nothing else from there, or you call Dark or whatever. So I think Protoss is a crazy card, guys. Honestly, I would probably blind first. I'd probably call either Dark or Fire. You really can't go wrong with either or two, personally, just thinking right off the top of my head. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Honestly, like I said, I think Swordsoul is going to be one of the best decks of the format. It's extremely budget friendly. You don't need to play SP Little Knight. You don't need to play anything crazy, overly expensive. As far as budget that goes, this is easily my top pick for what I think is going to be the best deck of the format. And even if we weren't going budget, this is still a really good deck to go into. And probably a deck I'll be taking to Nats, but we'll see about that. We'll see. I might take Sky Striker just to fuck around. But let me know, again, what you guys think in the comment section down below. Is there something you would change? Again, let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss. But without further ado, hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.